Live.
Thank you, Jody. Good morning, everyone. General Finance agenda for August 17th, 2026. I've been nominated to be chair today. I know we have a few council members that are away. Oh, okay. We have Sherry Lynn, Greg, and Dean are in Ottawa at the AMO conference. Leslie is online. Elena will be late, and we're just waiting upon Cynthia. And Helen's still off on some personal medical reasons. So we'll move ahead. The agenda, August 17, item number 1, changes, deletions, and adoption of the agenda. Is there any changes? If not, a motion to accept the agenda for August 17th. Moved by Audrey, seconded by Carrie. All in favor? Motion's carried. Agenda is adopted. Item number 2, I guess, it's going to be new on our agenda, I guess, for a declaration of conflict. So have a look over the agenda, or when something comes up in relation to you feel where there's a conflict, just raise it. So item number 3, adoption of general finance minutes. They're in the Dropbox for July 20th. Okay, we just got an update from Cynthia. She won't be able to make it today. Okay, so if there's anything on or no concerns or issues in relation to July 20th minutes, can we have a motion to accept those minutes? Moved by Amos, seconded by,
I haven't seen the agenda real closely, but Andrew Joseph was supposed to bring back information on the fire. On the roof on this meeting.
yeah, it was deferred at BCom.
Okay.
It came to our, we had a few questions on it, so it was deferred there.
Oh, so you're holding on back?
Yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah.
should somehow cite that in the minutes, huh?
Okay, we can make reference to that in a minute. The item is on hold for follow-up.
And follow-up, Chair, did we fund the baseball team or whatever that was going out west, east?
That would have been finance would have taken care of that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on the minutes? So Amos moved it. We need a second to accept the minutes for July 20th.
I will.
Okay, seconded by Leslie. All in favor? Okay, minutes adopted. Okay, item number 3, we have a delegation. And they just now paraded into the chambers here. Six Nations Language Commission, Karen. Oh, our chairs are missing. Where's our chairs?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, there was somebody online earlier. They were still here. Is their budget in that Dropbox? Their budget in a Dropbox?
Okay, Scano Seguego. Oops.
Good morning. So we'll turn it over to you. I know we're having some issues with the screen projector, so uh, can, yeah, it's lighting up.
It's
So
red.
Karen, we'll turn it over to you for your presentation.
Okay.
Is there a power? Okay.
Question, Amos?
Is there a PowerPoint or?
It's in the Dropbox, yeah.
Is this supposed to be green because it's red?
Yeah, I read it.
Oh, red's the right color.
Red's green's good to go.
Okay, all right. Scano Seguego, everyone. I'm Karen. I'm the executive director at the Language Commission, and I've been there since 2013. I'll just let everyone quickly introduce themselves.
Scano, I'm Katie Deer. I'm the revitalization strategist.
Okay, so we're here this morning in compliance with our MOU just to do our annual reporting. We will give you a hard copy of our annual report once we have that approved by our board later this month. We have a
Okay,
meeting
thank you.
on the 24th, 25th. And we also want to obtain approval for, in the form of a BCR to support our budget as per the attached briefing note. Did you get the briefing note? I have a hard copy. Okay. All right. And at this time, before I hand it over, we have a very structured presentation. Whoops. I'd also like to acknowledge not only Six Nations Grand River Elected Council support, but Grand River Employment and Training, Grand River Enterprises, the group, which is formerly Six Nations Development Corporation, Six Nations Community Development Trust, Community Living, and also in-kind contributions from NEPAM and Six Nations Gaming, because they always lend us their boardrooms in our building. Okay, so I'll pass it to Getty.
Okay, Scano, so I'll be presenting for slide 2, I believe, the year at a glance one. So there's lots on there, as you can see. So I'm just going to do some highlights. So it's not, I'm not speaking to any particular one, just kind of highlighting through the year. You can look at the full slide. So just one is our online programming. So we've done quite a few languages, I think, over the last few years. Seneca for sure, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Mohawk, I believe. And that's, I think, one of the more well attended is the online programming that we run. Just over Zoom, it's you know, informal for people to pick up conversational phrases, that kind of thing. So I think people really enjoy that one. Seems pretty popular. The other one I want to highlight is our recognition awards. Excuse me. That just went by, Karen, for the end of the school year. Yeah. And that one goes to the local, like the reserve schools, the community schools, for highest achievement when it comes to language. So I believe that's boy and girl for Cayuga and Mohawk, and most improved for language. Yeah. And I think that's one of the, because that's just the second time we've done it now. Yeah. And seems like a really important thing to be doing, highlighting the importance of language for the community and for our learners. The other one is the community engagement, which we did in June 2025. What was that?
Community engagement was at Polytech. We'll get all the groups together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we did that one at Polytech. That was all the language groups coming together. The language upgrading in summer 25. So that was with Ongwana Ganjokwa, who is, as you know, always really lending of their time when it comes to helping people learn their method. Really is what it was, to get acquainted with the root word method and how to teach it well, the best practices, that kind of thing. We've, for the last couple of years now, been involved with the Cayuga Circle, which is with Romaine Mitchell out of Aguzasne. So what that is they did it originally with non-Haudenosaunee languages, and then they moved to Mohawk, actually. and that's around teacher certification. So for that one, it's like it sets up a, I don't want to say a tribunal, there's a better word, but like a group who people come to, they give like a half hour or whatever it is presentation, and then they get OCT certification at the end of it if the group approves them. So the last couple of years now, we've been trying to develop what was done for Mohawk and the other languages for Cuga. So that's been the last little while, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. It takes a little longer, I think, to get it up and running and implemented. But yeah, so we're involved there. And then I just also wanted to highlight the grants that we've been getting through the year. And our coworker Lindsay is going to talk more about that. Yeah.
Just test it to see if it's working there.
Hello?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's going.
Okay, so here we just have a breakdown of all the funding that we received for 25-26 fiscal year. So 250,000 for GRE, from GRE, 38,000 from Grady, to fund positions, and then 10,000 from community living, 100,000 from the community trust, and then there's 317 from the Six Nations Economic Development Trust, or I guess the group now. And then from electric council, it was 1,050,000. And then we have a note here at the bottom that this funding goes directly to the Mohawk Adult Immersion, Ogowanagajukwa, for the student stipends from Haudenosaunee Development Institute, and that was $157,902. And then on the slide above, you can see the our P&L for the year. So it goes shows our revenue and our expenses, and kind of what are at the bottom there. That net income is kind of some funds that we use to carry us forward from April till we can kind of get more funding in. So that's always there, and it gets kind of spent once we can get more funding in. And then we just have a couple notes there about, I guess, the percentage of the budget and where it's going. So that 85% supporting support our staffing costs, and then supporting our learners. And then also I want to make a note, because this always gets, or it can be, I guess, people always wonder, the consultants is how we pay two of our part-time staff for finance and communication. So I guess, is there any?
Yeah, if we got any questions, we'll do that once you guys are done. I know.
Kenya and Lindsay. And I did want to highlight too, just from the briefing note, that over that time we have gone from so 1 full-time and 1 part-time to 10 full-time positions over that time. So all of the funding is greatly needed and appreciated to run all of our programming, actually, and keep things going. Because we are running currently in the past we would run 3 programs. Currently it's 2 full-time programs, one of which is the Onondaga. So that's actually really exciting. We haven't ran an Onondaga full-time program since, I believe, 2020-ish. I think the last one sort of ran into COVID, so so it's been that long. We went through a process of sort of rejigging the curriculum more in line with, again, Ongowana's curriculum and methods, and we're always really grateful to them for being, again, so generous with their time and materials. And they just got done their first year, So it's a 2-year, just like Ungawana's. And we have 2 learners of Onondaga here to do a quick comment about their learning. Anya.
You have that mic there? Just hand him that mic.
Skano swagwegi odian gwaini ni akiaji Onondaga no wago wenjota na ni tahoni no wagi seta ayak ni hono wenjage ni dwageno ta no ayak wadon ta ha de ta no kita agade asti ha je ne Onondaga ha de wendage iswa wi howana on gwade asti ha de ne on go home wait on now ayak ni hono wenjage Swati go hayandas ka. Scott Gangwa. I think that's shows the importance of having these language programs in our community. We have one council member who understood maybe a few words of what I said, maybe all of it. To me, that's it's very important. I grew up and going to school at I.L. Thomas, learning Cayuga language. I'm Onondaga Nation. So when there was an Onondaga program finally available, I took it upon myself to apply, and I got accepted. And the first year was amazing. It was a lot of learning. It was hard. There's a lot of grief involved with learning language. From everything our people have gone through to this day, and we're still going through, learning language isn't easy. And I really appreciate all the teachers we have for all the languages who, take the time out of their lives and their families to help us learn. The first year with the Onondaga program was awesome. The staff they had was it was a really good program. The group we had, the students, we learned a lot. We're still learning every day. It's an everyday thing, not just go to school and learn while you're there and go home and it's done. It's something that carries on after school. When you wake up in the morning, you're thinking about language. You're dealing with your kids. How can I teach my kids so that they're not in the position that I'm in? The position that the government has put us in. And that's the plan. My plan after the second year is hopefully be able to teach, help teach maybe, so that more of our community members aren't in this position that a lot of us are in here. I don't know what else to share. I finished first year with a 3.88 GPA, a level 4 exceeding classroom expectations, with an OPI speaking level at intermediate high, and that was a big goal for me. When I entered, I was probably the lowest level on the board for OPI like rating speaking. So within 1 year, one school year, I had grew that much in my language speaking, and I'm still learning every day. Still reading our notes from the past year. Looking forward to the second year, which is starting I think September 14th. Looking forward to that. And that's all I have to say. Tokengwa.
Okay, now, Karen, back to you. If you...
Yeah, Nyawaha. So Nyawaha, Odiangwaini. And just on that, is she gonna go? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
there you
else
go.
going to speak?
Hau. Skano swagwegi sabye tadi ni akiaji kayo kwanga ma woko wenjo da otakoni na waki sik da tona toga dan gyo sagacho kada yang set ni kayo kwanga unta keka ni ka wono dance so I guess just kind of stress too what Jan Gwenny said. So I guess the importance of a language in these programs. So I also finished the Guy Kona immersion program at Polytech the past 3 years, and then jumped into Giga. Again, just really realizing like I guess the state of the languages in our community. So really how important that is, and cannot stress that enough. And especially at this point in time, how it's a pretty scary situation. So again, I felt the need to definitely jump in this program, help as much as I could. Again, as Gete mentioned, like we're following the root word method with Ungawano, so that has helped like exponentially, especially coming from the Ikai Kono program. Like that has my proficiency has for sure just like jumped from pretty high, I guess, a lot quicker too than I realized. So again, like cannot stress the importance, especially with this method, root word method, and how that's really helped us like really expedite our proficiencies. So I think that's everything. Yeah. Yamaha.
You guys have any more to present? If not, then we have some counselors that may have some questions.
Yeah, we got lots. We had a link for the Mohawk students, I
Yeah,
think.
they're on there. They're on. Oh, you can't see it up there, but they are on.
Okay.
So I don't know. You want them to say a few words?
Yeah.
Can you guys online hear us? If you are, we want you to say a few words. So go ahead.
Okay, sure. So, sego sebo kwegon kawana geni waksanoda. Kana yoraks ni tano judo sura judo ta kiri hunya ni ide. Yana kwatsurayan deri ni tano ne saga skatne degneri hyanas. Kana yoraks.
Je går ni ani waksanoda that no anke again hanegi gata gani awesome.
Yeah. So next iker na ni gani wasak tarda kwe una jerna jiga kwazas na yung gwajo na yung gwajo kwa ngwana gwajo kwa jungwayo da yung dengwari hwai na wago ne yung gwa nung ka haja then wag wajadar na giga again hage program so una oyeri wadunta on da giga ji ga yagwes that no da so agan hagwego yung gudawian sto haje that no what yung kia dar dozera ne tuna de wana junak do ganto so jungwe dat sa gwego yung gwe da ya unka de gani tarno nya de wanda ge that no agwego wa guardi waster do ni jadi wa ay guardi waster de no sa ay gwawen de that ne tony go no das that no go higuji yo yan raje nya da woni saraga ausku gane ge ha ya godadis jina de godere tano oni kana gara saraga tano nya da woni saraga tano gari wasruni na do wajirana or na ya wajirana tano gane ge ha ya godste tano gotaga ayuri howana giga jini ya gojeha azaga yette jungyung gweda ya ne jogode wana jinakta ne gane ge ha ne oswego jinore yung gode andre so gwahigaji yeri hawana gigaji yung wanakta de jina wagan has saha ya gwarange tano ayung bayota da gwayena ne tona de wana jirokta ne ganyaka nega de nona ze gwata de oswega wada saha de wadewa anda ya gwadewa anda ne ungwayot ansira tano saha hurna gene jini hade no dewa stane ne ungwana ganjokwa daga saha yung gwaran ka technical. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna real quick jump in there with some translations. So we as the teaching staff of Ngwana Ganjokwa wanted to come in and talk a little bit about what we've been doing this summer. So we had the opportunity to move to Akwesasne and do collaborations with a program called Yungwahrun Kalhaje that is here based in Akwesasne. So we've been living here all summer. And part of the program that we're in is that we all get assigned mentors. And so these mentors are first language speakers here in Akwesasne. And so we're allotted a certain amount of hours every week that we see each other with our own mentors to learn kind of their wheelhouses, what's interesting to them, the way that they speak, because family dialects are different here in Akwesasne. And we really want to stress why this professional development is important for the program in Six Nations is that we're becoming better equipped as speakers, as teachers, And because opportunities like this are limited in Oswego just because of the population of first language speakers of Kanyen'keha in Six Nations. So it's kind of like a rare opportunity that we get these kind of professional development aspects. And relationship building wise, um, meeting and kind of making friends with all of these speakers here. Those are things that we can bring back to Six Nations. And so an example of this is we joined this last summer. And so a woman that we met here, first language speaker, she agreed to kind of do a mentorship with our class. And so we were able to bring her in on Zoom. And so throughout the year, we had allotted time for students to have talking time with this first language speaker, which otherwise would not have been possible. And then it was really nice because at graduation we invited her and she came and everyone got to meet each other. We made bread. It was really nice, kind of full circle moment. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time, but that's what we've been up to. Yeah, well.
Yahweh.
Okay,
You got
Noah.
a few more to present?
Yeah, and I just wanted to stress that everybody who spoke has been a student or is currently a student of one of our programs, so that's really great. We have Cheyenne out just to come talk a little bit about our grassroots and more on the student recognition.
Okay, and then I know we have a few counselors as well, has some questions. So once she's done, we'll ask questions.
So for the grassroots, we had funded 4 different programs. The first one was Dewa Dewayesta, Revitalizing Mohawk Language Program, where we had 15 participants that ran from November to March of this year. Everybody started at novice beginner, and then they completed with a novice mid, novice high, which means they gained some language. A few people had not dropped off, which was pretty amazing considering they had a class for 19 weeks and it was in person. And then we had another course that we had funded for the grassroots was Njidwatnok Gayot Kono, Introduction to Conversational Gayot Kono. This was 2 cohorts and they had 4 participants. Again, this was in person and that ran from September to April of this year. That one was 22 weeks of classes and they were older students. So again, that was reclaiming some of their language back, which was very, very impressive because they also jumped in their language understanding from some levels of comprehension. The other one was interesting. It was a Tuscarora language class. That was Nyawentas He Unese, which is we are planting the seed in Tuscarora. They had 8 participants. It's mainly family, and it's in groups with people from Tuscarora in New York. So again, we don't have any Tuscarora speakers here, but we have Tuscarora people. So they merged a program together and they've been working together with their families and different ones. So they're making Tuscarora resources for different teachers and learners. They're working on the Thanksgiving address, introductions of themselves, commands to people, children's songs. They're doing traditional food making such as mush, verb conjugations, and alphabet booklets for learners. The other one, which is very exciting, is Gobeanonis Cayuga Language Digital Verb Generator. So right now they have one Gobeanonis for Mohawk, which is where you can use the root word and put in your verbs, and the computer will help you conjugate what you want to say. So it's really exciting. They've launched that, I believe it was in January for the Mohawk one, and this one will be launched within a few months, possibly another year. Because it's a lot of work and a lot of words. So right now they're still currently working on that, and that we helped fund that from January to March. And there was 4 participants that were helping create the content. So they did main root word tables for future input, the series, so pronominal prefixes tables, the patient series, agent series, transitive series, aspect suffix rules, which I'm probably sure nobody really fully understands what I'm saying right now. But that's okay. We're not linguists. We don't need to understand. All we need to know is we have a bunch of things that are getting put in there from the other aspects that are going to help people learn and read these words and put the words together so they're properly talking. And even that in itself is going to be a big job and task. And that was it for our grassroots that were completed. What was next? Am I moving on to the awards? Yeah, so yeah, I know Gete touched on our recognition awards. We gave away 27 awards to all the local schools within Six Nations, and they were language awards for the highest average girl and boy, and the most improved boy and girl. So every grade 8 student received like 4 awards per school. and it was in Gayokono language for the schools that offer Gayokono, and then Ganyak Geha for the schools that offered Ganyak Geha. And out of that, for Gomanio, we also offered high school graduates awards as well, and we gave away 3 of those as well. I can also touch a little bit on online classes for the numbers. We did Onondaga class this past February to May, and then September to December of last year. We had 17 participants for 12 weeks, 3 hours of class. We had a few drop out, so we ended up with 11 completed total of the 12 classes. And then for the September to December, we had 10 participants with 12 weeks of classes for 3 hours. Some of the drop off had happened because people were then going to take this course during the day that we were offering. So that was a good drop, I think. We actually offered online Seneca for the first time as well this last March. We had a really good number as well. We had 14 participants for 12 weeks for 3 hours, and 11 out of the 14 completed the classes. And that was something too we had to outsource for both online courses because we don't have a lot of Onondaga here, which actually I should note that we are very fortunate because we have about the last 5 speakers of the language, first language speakers here in Six Nations, where in Onondaga, New York, they don't have any left. So I think you should all understand the importance of our work here with that. And we actively, every week or every 2 weeks or possibly every day, these guys are working and talking with the elders, and they're gracious with their time, and they're super, super helpful and participating in everything we ask and do with them. So it's really amazing, and we are so thankful and grateful for them. And they're just down the road, which is really, another bonus, as you've heard from Gawina Daje, that they have to go all the way to Akwesasne to get some of that. And we're very fortunate to have that here. So we are very, very thankful for them and what they do with us and their work. So that's another reason why it's very important to hear them up there and speaking and saying they want to teach, because we want to kind of burden some of that load. But I know our elders will not stop because they want to give everything they can to the learners. We had reached out to a man from Seneca Country, Tonawanda, and he was gracious enough to also offer classes here. So again, just trying to have that representation for all Six Nations here in Six Nations, and we will be starting an Oneida class online. So that'll be happening September. So we're really excited for that, as I'm Oneida. But yeah.
Okay, now
Okay, now Cheyenne. Yeah, so maybe just for the last point I wanted to highlight was it really is a collaborative effort too, as you can see. We can't do everything just our own selves. And we do have the extra, I guess, responsibility here at Six Nations to try to bring back all 6 languages, right? As much as we can. We're not a community with just a single language. And for the collaborative side, I did want to also highlight that for the FNCCEC funds we got this year, we are collaborating with Goanio School on some resources for this year with KG. So that's an exciting new avenue that we're opening up. Hope to see lots come out of that too. I think we're done now. If anybody had any questions, Nyawa.
okay, I know we have some. I know we have Audrey, and then Leslie's online. So go ahead, Audrey first, and then Amos after Leslie.
Go. I was here at the beginning when it first started, when Brian Miracle and the group brought it to council, and where they got their first allotment of money, and this has really grown exponentially. And I'm so proud of the work that everybody does and the time and effort you put into it. I did 2 years at Polytech in Mohawk, and I did 1 year with Winnedeka in Mohawk, and tell you, trying to learn that language, especially if you're just a little bit older, is really, really hard. And I was even assigned to teach Mohawk at Jameson. It lasted for about a month, and then they realized that Mohawk kids that I would be teaching would be going into Cuba the next year, so it really didn't make a lot of sense to learn Mohawk for a year and go into Cuba the next year. So they turned back to Cuba, and after that I wasn't using my language, so I do appreciate what you say. If you don't use it, you lose it, and I need to brush up on it. Maybe I'll think about taking the online course. But the questions that I had to ask, Cheyenne answered them. It was all about the awards. what grades were recognized, if it was high school. Um, and it seems like the resource is another big question I have. So before we used to have Ima Johnson and a whole group of people who made resources for all the schools, posters, books, etc. Is that still being done, or is that one of your goals? And I also think I will make a motion to approve this uh, motion because I so strongly believe in it. So just a question about the resources for all of the schools.
Yeah, so we had is a Canadian Council for the Arts grant a while back now, before COVID, and since then, we used it to make a bunch of resources, and since then we've been slowly getting them translated into the other languages. So we have Mohawk, Huga, Seneca for sure, and I think we're in the works for Oneida, Kahiga. And I can't remember about the other ones, but those ones for sure, just because, it's a time-consuming process. And then for the recognition awards, what grades were they?
They were all grade 8 graduates, and then the grade 12.
Yep. And just to follow up,
Go ahead,
where
Audrey.
where can people go to get these resources who aren't enrolled in any of the language courses, who just basically want to learn on their own or to augment what they already know?
Yep, well, they can come to our office at the Oneida Business Park and get some. And I believe we have our stuff at Good Minds in Brantford as well. Right. Yeah, so people can head up there too for not the full selection, but our phrase guides and that kind of thing are in. Yes, at Good Minds. Do we charge?
Not usually. If a person wants one for themselves, it just seems so hard to, charge them because we want to encourage it, right? And I know maybe might break even on sales or whatever, but it's just more important to give it to people that want to learn. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay, Leslie, did you have a question?
I do. I'd also like to second this. But my question is, I see the stipends is quite a bit there, and it doesn't mean it's more than what it should be. I would just like a breakdown of that, to hear the breakdown of the stipends.
Yeah, so my understanding is before recently, if I'll put it that way, we covered the stipends, the commission with whatever we were bringing in. But the last few years, it was a different organization that was helping with the stipends actually. So it's kind of been sort of went from one thing to the other. And actually, those are always I think the major more share, right, of what we have to distribute every year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Amos, do you have a question?
No, mine's more of a comment. Iso di agadan honyo san te swai na nasa tia neha. Nanton watawnyo san nyong tron san nyong trin ni na san ji baba no tan jung go home. I just want to thank you all for coming and giving us some guidance on how we're going to move forward together in our languages. I just want to remind council and the listening audience. In the 1980s, I have to say and declare that we were so colonized here at Grand River. We couldn't even teach the language in the schools because of policy of the government. And when I came back home to work, that's what I pushed back against. And you know how audacious I can be. I pushed, and with parents, we created Gobernillo, right? Without funding, mind you. And if it wasn't for Bill Montour, Chief Bill Montour, we probably would never have gotten funding. He's seen the vision of what we were trying to do. I just want to remind council of that. He took a delegation of us to RDG in Toronto, and we sat and caucused on what Six Nations wanted to do with languages. And we separated for 30 minutes. They came back in and said, we're going to give you the funding. So we had to even fight for the funding for the languages here, which should have been a no-brainer. It should have been a no-brainer because we already had experience of what was happening in Quebec with their language. But anyway, we still had to go to I called Snowflakes and asked them whether we could get funding for languages, and they gave it to us. So this is where we've gone. In one generation, we have young adults who speak the language, who are bilingual. English, Gayakono, Gayankyono, Unrakega. We have them now. It took one generation, but we did it ourselves in this community because of, we're always talking about Gayasane or the Gandonic sovereignty. We always want to know what that is. This is sovereignty of who we are, trying to support languages. Anyway, I just want to share that with the council of the struggles we've had with languages here. And it's beautiful now when I hear these people speak. I just, and I lost my older brother and sister in the last couple of years, and already I'm finding I'm losing my language because I don't have anybody to speak. Because we used to speak almost every other day, at least, in the language on a phone. And my brother got so good, he could text in Gayokono, my brother. So I just like, it's there. It's right there in front of us to keep this going. And it would have been beautiful, I have to say this, if our delegation that went to AMO could have opened their meeting in their language. Wouldn't it have been beautiful? I mean, that's what we got to get to. We, as leaders and as communicators and as politicians, we got to get to that point where at least we can introduce ourselves in our language, So I think we're on a right path, and as you know, we did do a resolution here from Band Council a few months back to the Chiefs of Ontario supporting UNDRIP, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, with Article 14, where it says the government is responsible or to fund education in our languages, not just English. So we put a resolution. Sherry moved it, Chief Sherry Lynn Hill moved that resolution. It went to the chiefs, it was passed, and then it went to the AFN. So at least we're on that road politically of supporting our languages from Grand River in that way. So I just want to remind the council what we're trying to do, and I'm like you all know that I'm tickled pink with the fact that we are going to finally have a new school for Kawanio. So where our kids are learning. So I mean, and our children, I should say. So it's been a long road. It's been like 40 years almost, and we're finally getting there. And all the support from all of these agencies that are supporting them, they listed them at the top of their presentation. They all see that importance of language. So that's why they're supporting us. And I hope we don't penalize them for raising too much money from this council because they still need the funds to make it grow more. So these are all our strategic partners with Gowanio, and I just hope that the council, again, we have a mover and seconder already, support their activities and their report and their new budget. We are having a think tank in the next couple of weeks about where we can revitalize the program with the commission. And I think you're having a meeting this week. I don't know, is Jill, with all the external committees this week to see what is it on August 19th? Still happening? Yeah. So, I mean, we're moving forward to get more organized even here in Grand River. So I appreciate all the work that the young people are doing. So I just want to lay that in front of the council today and say, it's been a long slug, but we're getting there. And as you can witness, you witnessed it this morning. People didn't speak the language and now can speak it. But it's in all of us. And what time we can put in forward. I mean, there's online now. You can't say there's no excuse. It's online now. You can take an evening course with all these people. So I'm so happy what's happening. And the fact that these people have volunteered to go to Akwesasne and live there for a couple parts of the summer to work with speakers of the language to bring it back home. So it's so great. And I'm just helping them now with their budgets. I don't know whether we put in a 5-year, 10-year MOU or whatever with council, with the leadership here. And I'm looking at them and asking them to put accelerators in. Donna, you know what accelerators are? and indexing their budget so that we can grow with either COLAs or whatever we need to do to support the staff, right? So we're trying to, well, that's what I take to the commission as their chair. So I would just want to stop there, Chair, and just encourage all of us to continue on with the notion of keeping our language. Go.
Okay, we have a couple more comments here, and then I'll actually read the resolution. I know Audrey wants to move it, and Leslie wants to second, but we have Melba and then Hazel.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was very enlightening to hear the Onondaga speakers. The late Hubert Sky had mentioned years ago that Jackie Bumbry, the late Jackie Bumbry, was the greatest Onondaga speaker on Six Nations at that time. So I wanted to mention that. If you haven't heard that, you probably have within your studies. It's really nice to see the expansion that has happened through the years with so many programs that's being offered to our people. So Amos has mentioned that we've lost a lot of elders, and if I understood right, you two that spoke here today, you teach the elders. Is that my understanding? That program is taught by you. Is that correct?
They're the students, these guys.
I know they
Yeah.
are, but are the students teaching elders? Or who is teaching elders? And that's my question too. Who are the teachers now in Onondaga?
Yeah, it's the elders who come in to work with the students.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who? Oh, so they're not being taught. It's not a program for elders to come to learn their language, because as we know, a lot of people, even though they're old, don't know their language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just the elders coming to help these guys for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to ask if you have.
I think, excuse me for a minute. I think you had mentioned there's a grassroots program you got going where you are reaching out to the elders that want to learn different languages.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of them actually has just a group of it's like 50 plus who were in their Gayokono conversational, and same with the other group for the Mohawk one. They same thing. It's a group of different level of ages, and it is nice to see when they do, like, they'll send in a photo. We'll ask them to send in a photo and things, and it's nice to see that they do have whiter hair and they're a little bit older. And it's just good, like what you're saying, they're able to regain. And unfortunately, one of the members of one of the groups from the last cohort that we had funded for the grassroots, they had passed away. So it is a thing where we are working with elders who want to learn their language as well, online or with the grassroots. Just any opportunity we can provide, that's what we're working towards as well. And they're open to take the daytime classes too if they want. We had a few elders in the Onondaga class, but one of them had to drop out, different reasons, but the other ones kind of stuck with it. So, and it's hard to be there every day, all day long, learning language. It's tiring. So we understand.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Are you done, Melba, with your questions or comments?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not. Yeah, thanks. I'm just wondering if you have a program for in-home. The reason why I'm asking is Great did this some years ago where they would have the teachers come right into the home. It was Jackie Bumbry and Hubert Sky. So I'm just wondering if, for various reasons, people don't get out of their home, whether it's handicapped or as we have the special schools where people can't function for various reasons. So I wondered if you had that in home or thinking of it or had some discussion around it that it may be necessary. Thanks.
Yep. We don't have a current running in-home program, but that's a really good idea. It's a little easier with the online now. I know also the technology is something that people might not be able to run. But yeah, that's a good idea. We should think about it now.
Okay, thank you. Hazel, last comment.
Yeah. I drive by at Gawaneo and see how it's being built, and they added on more rooms already. I'm really thankful for that too, because it was sort of rough going at the beginning, right, Amos, to try and get funding to do that. The one thing that I noticed in memo or briefing note was that it mentioned a strategic investment funding program. Did you have to fill that out to put in your request for funding?
What part was this, Hazel? I'm just trying.
It was in the briefing note. I have it on my. It's mentioned that all of those who got this OFNLP funding, and then it mentioned there was about 3 or 4 others. This is the council's new method. Did you have to do all of that? Oh,
No.
there's, Donna's gonna help us.
Sorry, Counselor. That briefing note was my briefing note to council,
Oh,
and
okay.
so these folks were not aware of the strategic investment fund, that new policy or process. So no, they did not complete it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a new policy that council has created in relation to allocation of funding and I guess more being financially responsible and having all the statements and everything from all the different organizations where council allocates resources to. So it'll be new and it can be online. I know Deb will be dealing with it as well as her staff to get different programs and services all lined up with that. But just before we go with the resolution.
I'm just not quite
Oh,
done.
okay, I thought you were done. Go ahead, Hazel.
How many full-time employees do you have, Karen, in your group?
There's, I believe, 10 or 11 of us.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. But I know when this language commission started, I was sitting where Deb is sitting right now years ago, and it's amazing to hear the progress you guys have made. I know a few years early on, and it was a struggle to get going and even to get participants and ones to be committed, because I know it takes a lot of dedication, but it's quite amazing, like Amos has said, is to hear how much you guys have grown in relation to where the languages are. So it's quite amazing. And I know when council originally allocated the millions of dollars, and over the years, I think I hate to guess where we are in regards to allocation to the Language Commission now. But no, it's just amazing to hear how well things are going, especially to hear the young people talk, and it's really, really amazing. I know when you hear even little kids speak, and it's amazing to hear little kids speak. So just getting back to the resolution, I'll read it. Whereas Six Nations Language Commission has submitted a request for funding for fiscal year 2026-2027 for $1,096,400. Therefore, it be resolved that Six Nations of the Grand River 59th elected council approve funding for Six Nations Language Commission fiscal year 2026-2027 for $1,096,400 from GL 4410599207. So that is a motion, and Audrey has already moved it already, and Leslie has seconded it. Is there any more comments? If not, can we, who's all in favor of the resolution? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Recommendation 4.2, that the Six Nations of the Grand River elected council approve second reading on recommendation 4.1. All in favor?
Yes.
Oh, you gonna move that?
Yes.
Audrey's gonna move it, Leslie's gonna second, and all in favor. Okay, motion is carried. Thank you guys for your presentation, and good luck, and keep up the work.
Nyawa.
Yeah.
Now, go now.
Just want to add, and we sit here, and it is amazing to see how people are learning. But me as a father and home of 7 people, we only make $450 a week stipend for learning language, and we spend 5 days a week from 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock to 3 in there. So it is amazing, but it's hard to do this.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It's a huge sacrifice we make. My kids have sacrificed sports this past year, because of the pay cut from ironworking to learn the language is 90% pay cut. So I just want you to take that into, understand that sacrifice that we make as language students.
No.
Can I just add to that real quickly? So yeah, the $450 a week, and this year we end it with 26 full-time students. So then, and our programming runs 35. So that's 35 weeks. So that's a quick calculation on the math for you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Okay, council, item number 5, social services. 15 Sunrise Court. It's a 3-year DAMR agreement. I don't know if you're gonna speak to that. Deb, or it's pretty well straightforward, right? Because it's a, so is it Damar that wants the resolution?
So because it's over a year contract, that's why it's coming to council. So it is for the Damar agreement. That's for the installation and monthly charges for the social services facility. It's going to be in the expanded section. So the agreement will be 3 years in length. And it will include intrusion monitoring services, fire monitoring services, the virtual keypad, and the OpenEye web access for all cameras on site, so we can monitor um, from phones, so people that are designated to have that. So our previous agreement did end in September of 2023 when the building began in the construction phase for expansion. So the new agreement is now required. And it is part of their operation and maintenance budget.
Just before you go, Amos, I was wondering if we could actually add in a resolution what council is approving. Yes, it's a 3-year, but I think there's an annual fee of $8,800 or something. Just so that council aware that yes, we are approving this 3-year agreement, and it's at a cost of $8,800 and something dollars for per year for that. So Amos, go ahead. You had a question?
Yeah, I'll move on this motion. I just want us to consider it either at the end of this session of council for the new session of council that we also install cameras in that plaza next door, because we've had people fall, and my staff see it from the radio station. And we had a dog attack there. Remember, one of our own housing staff was attacked by a dog there. So we don't have cameras in that plaza. So, and maybe even RBC could fund it because they have a bank there. But I mean, we should have something there that we can call on as evidence if ever we need evidence. If someone should break a leg or be attacked by another dog, that we have evidence that it did actually happen and we can record it. So I think we need to have some security over there. I know we have that in other plazas. I see that. I've been looking around, and there are cameras underneath, and that we can monitor that. Well, CKRZ has a big window, and that's why they can see a lot of it. And then staffs are on air, so they can see people walking and being attacked by dogs. So I mean, so that's why I'm just wondering whether we could consider that in the next round for security, adding the plaza to our for our safety, I guess, and our community.
Yeah, I don't know, Deb, you want to take that to Andrew? We can take it to BCom just to make preparations for next year's budget to see if he wants to allocate some resources to that. Okay, thanks, Amos. Amos is moving on the resolution. And just with we can do the amendments to put the dollar amount in there, how much we're actually approving along with the 3-year term, just so council is aware of it. Amos moving, seconded to that resolution. Carrie, second it. All in favor? Okay, Elena's here now, she's gonna abstain. Motion is carried. Item 5.2 is to approval to waive second reading on recommendation 5.1, which is the 3-year agreement plus the annual costs. Amos, you want to move on that again? Carrie, second. Okay, all in favor of waiving second reading? Motion is carried. Welcome, Elena. Okay, item number 6, recommendations from the community committee. Did you want to talk about this, Deb or Donna, or we just, it's pretty straightforward. I know we have the Six Nations Agricultural Society, which is the fair board here on Six Nations. I know they've come for several years now seeking funding to help support the community event of the fall fair, which is happening in a couple weeks. But I'll read the resolution. And it was actually came from our committee, community committee, which is Dean's committee. So it was moved by myself from the committee and Carrie that the community committee recommend to the Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council to approve the request from the Six Nations Agricultural Society in amount of $1,200,000 for 2026 Fall Fair to be expensed from access code 44105-9752. Some comments, Deb?
Yeah, it's $120,000, not 1 million. Yeah.
Forgive me, reading too fast. $120,000. Yeah. I'm sure they got excited listening. My apologies. So it's 120,000 for the Six Nations Fall Fair as part of their fundraising to our finances to help cover the cost. I think their budget was projected to be almost 350,000. I think that was their projected cost to run the Fall Fair this year. So who moved that? It's all done. No. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. No, we need a new mover now because I was moved it from the committee. So moved by Audrey, second by Amos. All in favor? Motion is carried. Second reading on that. Moved by Amos, seconded by Audrey. All in favor? Motion is carried. So I know there was some urgency on that other side, right, Deb, administratively wise, to get the finances to them. So we'll leave that in your hands. Okay, item number 7, ISC Comprehensive Funding Agreements, amendments number 203, 204, 205, and 206. That, I don't know if anybody, any comments, Donna or Deb, if not? Okay, you want to comment on some of that, Donna? I know it's all in the resolution there that where they're allocated to.
As you're aware, we participate in a comprehensive funding agreement, a 5-year funding agreement with Indigenous Services Canada. And periodically, they provide additional supports for new areas or areas where additional resources are required. And each of these represents some additional funding that ISC is providing to us. So Amendment 203 is for post-secondary education, the Youth Employment Skills Link program. And that is targeted towards youth between the ages of 15 or 16 and 29 who are ordinarily resident on reserve who are returning to school. So it's primarily a summer type employment program. The youth have to be intending to return to school to participate in that one. Or yes, I think the Skills Link is the one where they're returned. Oh, or that might be the mentored one. Sorry, my apologies. The Skills Link is where they are not returning to school. And the Child and Family Services Capital is some capital funding that they're providing for our Child and Family Services programming. Amendment 204 is additional support that they're giving for our expanded trauma-informed health support under the mental wellness program. Amendment 205 is the maternal child health and midwifery healthy child development program. And Amendment 206 is for the home and long-term care, the assisted living, in particular, the institutional portion of that, not the home portion.
Okay, thank you, Donna. So just for those online, I'll just read the resolution. Hopefully I get everything correct this time. It says, whereas Six Nations of the Grand River has entered into a 5-year comprehensive funding agreement with acronym is CFA with Indigenous Service Canada with the acronym ISC for the term beginning the first day of April 2021 until the 31st of March 2026, which has been extended to March 31st now to 2028. And whereas amendments number 203, 204, 205, and 206 have been received for council's approval and signatures, so the long forms will come around after that. Therefore, it resolved that Six Nations of the Grand River 59th Elected Council approve and sign the following comprehensive funding agreement amendments number 203, 204, 205, and 206 for the fiscal year 2026-27 between His Majesty King of the Right of Canada, as represented by Minister of Indigenous Affairs, and Six Nations of the Grand River. Amendments include additional funding for the following departments, and I won't go over, just that's what Deb or Donna has just gone over, so I won't go over that, but it's all part of the resolution. Is someone willing to move on the resolution for the amendments? Moved by Malba, seconded by Amos, with a comment, with a question?
Who's going to be administering the 203? Does it go to post-secondary, or what division of our government manages that one or delivers it?
Yeah, do we not have a FINYAS program here? That's what it's under, First Nations and Inuit Youth Employment Services. Yeah.
Great.
So the question follow-up.
Go ahead, Amos.
So is it going to be transferred to GREAT to manage this funding?
Okay. That's where it normally would go for the student, youth, and support services through there. We'll have to confirm that though, Amos, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Melville moved, Amos second, all in favor? No objections, motion is carried. Recommendation 2 is to waive second reading on that. Moved by Amos, seconded by Melba, all in favor? Motion is carried. So the long forms will come around for your signatures, so don't run away. So that's it for our agenda in the open session. Our next resolution is to go in camera. We have a motion to do so. Moved by Carrie, second by Amos, to end the open session and go in camera. All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay. Just let us know when you're done there, Jody, and we'll have a couple minute break.